Bitcoin just hit $30,000. Absolutely amazing to see it back here, and probably a big sigh of relief for most of you to actually see Bitcoin back at 30K. So it is Tuesday. It is the 11th of April. I know it's pretty much been 11 days since I made a video at the beginning of the month. I've been super busy working on finishing up the new trading course, both for crypto and how to apply it to Forex and how to be able to get funded accounts and all that kind of cool stuff to get funded with capital. I'm actually launching that trading course as a standalone product later this month. I will share the details in a week or two when I'm ready with that. Obviously, if you're in my VIP membership already, you get access to that completely for free. That is obviously one of the perks of being in that VIP membership. Everything I create in that membership, all future courses, all future trainings, it's all part of the membership. If you want to join the VIP, the link is in the description down below. And if you want to wait just for the course to come out so you can buy that when it comes out, stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe down below, turn on notifications, and I will share more about that in the next 1 or 2 weeks as it is ready. So diving straight into the charts, because Bitcoin is at 30K. I've said that 3 times, but it's worth saying 3 times because, I mean, 30K, it's super nice, guys. It's super nice to see the price back there. And what is also nice to see is basically, again, the charts always lead the way. So at the beginning of this year on this channel, I will link to it up here also, but in the first, say, 2 weeks or so of January, we got a confirmation of the Bitcoin price crossing above the 3-day 50 moving average. That was the first high time frame trend confirmation. And in that video, I basically said that we are potentially looking at multiple weeks or multiple months of upside and maybe even a new bullish trend. And that is so far exactly what has been playing out. I also made the video a couple weeks back when we reclaimed the 50 and the 200 week moving average. And that is basically the most bullish signal that we can ask for on the higher time frame. All the major parabolic bull market moves happen when the price is above both the 50 and the 200 moving average. And despite people's personal opinions, despite the sentiment, the emotions, the news, whatever is going on in the world, all of that stuff does not matter. I go according to the charts lead the way, and all the other stuff is just noise. Obviously, at the bottom of a bearish trend, nobody is going to start being bullish, okay? But if the charts give us the confirmation, eventually the sentiment changes. And at the top of a bull market rally, at the top of the euphoria, no one's going to start getting bearish, okay? So you cannot rely on the sentiment alone to help you determine a trend change unless you use it in an opposite way. When everyone is extremely bearish, the bottom is likely in. And when everyone is extremely euphoric, the top is likely in. Okay, but what I like to do, and if you've been following here on the channel, is simply use those higher time frame moving averages as trend confirmation. The faster moving one is the 3-day 50 moving average. So let me just share that with you again. So we got the 3-day 50 moving average over here. When we reclaimed it in January, that was a bullish sign. We retested it, and look where we are going now. Now, obviously, we have the resistance here of the 200 average on the 3-day chart, which actually has a lot of confluence with this level over here, which I think we're targeting 32,000. So you can see this is about 32,700. So that was still my prediction at the beginning of this month. That was the last video I made, where I said potentially in April we continue the bullish trend. We hit maybe 32 to 35,000, and specifically 35,000 because on the CME chart over here, you can see there's this gap over here at around 35 plus. You can see the 200 moving average on the 3-day chart on CMA actually lines up with that. So I do think there's potential for 32 to 35 this month. And then we have to see what is going to happen in May because we have the lunar eclipse. May is traditionally a sell-off month. So we could be seeing a correction in May, but maybe not necessarily the top. So let me try and keep this as logical for you as possible while still walking you through as many of the charts and big picture ideas as possible to try and keep it simple. Okay, so the weekly chart, you can see the 50 simple moving average, the 200 is in red, the 50 is in blue, and we are well above there weekly. And you can see basically the strategy is as long as we are above there, as long as the price is above there, the trend is bullish and you don't need to fight it. Okay, that's it. Simply the trend is your friend until the end. Okay, so until invalidation, the trend is bullish. That's it. It was already in January when we got that reclaim of the 3-day 50 moving average. with the reclaim of the 50 and the 200 week moving average, simply the most bullish scenario for a trend that we can ask for. And until we get a new weekly close back below this 200 week moving average, which is currently, as you can see, about $25,500. So as long as we stay above 25,500, the trend is bullish. We can only start to consider a more bearish scenario once we get a new weekly close below there, and then we still have the 3-day 50 moving average. So in my opinion, the higher time frame trends, all the signals are bullish, and we continue going. And obviously, guys, there are going to be corrections and there are going to be shakeouts along the way. Okay, even in these major parabolic moves, you can see even in a full-blown bull market like 2022, you can see we still had that correction where we went from 42 all the way to 28. Okay, on the chart it doesn't look like a lot, but that is a $14,000 drop, and that's scary. Okay, so that can happen. So even if we are potentially here in a new bull market, even if we are going to maybe 48,000 and maybe higher than that, we can still see periods for multiple weeks or maybe 1 or 2 months in a bullish trend where we see sharp pullbacks, where we see pullbacks of 10 or 20 or 30% within that trend. So I'm not saying we only go up from here. We could easily have a bit of a scare, you know, go up this month 32 to 35, drop back to 28 or maybe even 25, really scare everyone. And as long as we're still above this 200 week moving average, so basically what I'm saying is we retest it and continue higher, that is still perfectly okay. Now, what I want to show you here also is basically, I also said at the beginning of this year, 2019 is potentially like 2023. There's a 4-year cycle in the crypto markets based on probably the 4-year halving cycle, where every 4 years the new supply of Bitcoin gets cut in half. But you can see what happened here in 2019. The entire bear market, we take the Fibonacci retracement, we got that move from January until about June perfectly to the Fib golden pocket. Now if we do that same thing, 4 years later, 2023, we started going up towards the end of last year, towards December, January over here, and we have been going up since. So far, it has been very, very similar to 2019. Now, the first target, like I've been talking about, I think is very simply just this high at around 32,000. We should probably take that out this month, I'm guessing, but maybe 35,000 is the CME gap as I showed you. Now, the question is, if we take that same Fibonacci retracement over the entire 2022 bear market, that would be between $48,000 and $50,000, which is still quite a bit higher than here. But again, you can see we've already gone from 15 in the 15,000s to 30,000. So we've done a 2x in just about 4 months. So can we go from 30 to 48 in another few months? I think absolutely yes. I mean, the proof is there, the evidence is there. It's done it before. If Bitcoin really gets going and the money just starts to pile in and people start to FOMO because they missed out at 15, at 20, at 25, at 30, and it just keeps going to 35 or 40, that last push of the last $5,000 or $10,000 can happen in a matter of a few days towards the upside. So there is still complete potential for this to hit that Fibonacci golden pocket potentially within the next couple of months. We have to wait and see how things go, but like I said, as long as the price is above the 200-week moving average, that's what I'm watching now, the trend is bullish in my opinion, and the target could very well end up being that Fibonacci golden pocket. So for now, let's see what ends up happening this month. If we hit 32 to 35K, I do think there is possibility for a crash correction sell-off in May. Maybe something sharp. You know, maybe we go from 35 to 25, scare people. But as long as we stay above this 200-week moving average, even that pullback to there from 35 to 25 would be okay in the bullish trend. And it could just bounce straight up in the same way as it did that on the 3-day chart. You can see over here, similar situation. It blasted through the 50. Okay, it went from 25 down to just under 20. Okay, so that's a 20% drop. But after that, it bounced and it continued higher. So there is that possibility if it happens on the weekly in the same way. Okay, we could go to 35, drop to 25, retest that 200-week moving average, the red one, and then continue higher to 48 potentially. Okay, so another thing I want to touch on before wrapping up this video, keep it short and sweet, is also that we could end up seeing a rotation into altcoins. But I think that doesn't really happen until Bitcoin gets high enough. And we're seeing this now. We're seeing Bitcoin pump. We're seeing Ethereum starting to get towards 2,000. Bitcoin is now at 30, but the altcoins aren't really moving. And in fact, some of them are actually selling off, especially compared to BTC or measured in BTC prices. So What I do think, this is always the case historically, Bitcoin pumps first out of the bear market. It leads the way, new money starts to flow in. And once Bitcoin gets high enough, people start to take profit. And then altcoins are much more attractive because, let's say Bitcoin goes to 45,000 or 50,000. At that point, getting a 2x on Bitcoin is already a new all-time high and very unlikely, right? But at that point, if the people who were in from 15 or 20 or 25,000, they've doubled their money, tripled their money. And at that point, they have nice profits, whereas altcoins are much lower. They're smaller market cap. So people start taking profits from Bitcoin and start buying altcoins. And then we get this massive pump in altcoins, what we know as alt season, because the market caps of altcoins are much, much smaller. So it takes much less capital to be able to pump those many multiples. And then when you're looking at 50,000 BTC, the potential upside gets very limited. Taking profits start getting attractive. And then you pump it into altcoins where the market caps are so low and there's potential for 10x, 20x, 30x, 50x. So the people who took those profits on Bitcoin move it over into altcoins, then we get our alt season, and then once those really pump, 10x, 20, 30, 40, 50x, whatever it is going to be, then those profits get taken again, and then the whole market tends to have a correction. That is a cycle within the crypto space, and I do think there is potential for that, so that we have to watch out for that. I think at this point, people are still longing BTC, okay? They're still interested in more upside, like what I'm showing you. 35,000 is very likely, and then maybe even 48 or 50,000. And at that point, I think people will start to swap over to altcoins. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's see how that develops. And then obviously the play, in my opinion, or my strategy anyway, is going to be not to buy Bitcoin or not to be positioned in Bitcoin once we get around 50,000. And that is when a lot of the masses, the retail, will start to look at crypto and start getting interested. We start seeing it on the news again. Oh, Bitcoin hit 40,000, Bitcoin hit 50,000, and people start buying Bitcoin at 50,000. I mean, like, why would you do that when you could have bought it at 20,000? Obviously, it always goes that way, right? People aren't interested in the lows and they get interested at the highs. But my strategy, obviously, is going to be not to be in Bitcoin. At that point, to start to look to be fully positioned in altcoins, actually now already accumulating because the prices are so cheap. And then once those altcoins do 10, 20, 30, 40x, 50x maybe on some of the low caps, that's when it's time to get out. And that's when everyone else starts to get interested. They all want to buy altcoins because they've seen it's been going up 10x, 20x. Everyone gets interested again. That's going to be the time to sell. So I've been saying this for the last year throughout the bear market, the last months. I've been saying the bear market lows are the best time to get interested. I'm still saying it now. I mean, Bitcoin is 30K. If Bitcoin goes to 50K, obviously no guarantees, but so far, so good. If we get to like 50K, I'm still saying now altcoins are still cheap, right? A lot of altcoins are still down 80 or 90% from their all-time highs. But once altcoins move 10x from this point, or 15x or 20x, it starts to become a lot harder to make a decision. What do you buy? When do you buy? Is it still going to go up more over and over and over again? So if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, subscribe down below. If you need help with this, join my VIP membership. The link is in the description down below. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can just come and try it out. There's no risk to you. If you don't like it, ask for your money back. You can get a full refund within the first 60 days. But you get access to everything that I know about crypto that I've spent the last years and years putting together. Courses, monthly updates, weekly updates. You get access to our Discord chat group. You have direct access to me personally. You can ask me questions. I'm in there every day, sharing charts, sharing my ideas, sharing my trade setups, sharing coins that I personally buy and sell. I share that in the group too. And of course, you have access to the entire community of more than 2,000 members from all around the world. If you're doing anything with crypto right now and you need that help and guidance, join my VIP. It's completely risk-free for the first 60 days. Link in the description down below. And let's see what happens this month if we hit that 35,000. I will do an update again, probably at least within the next week or so, but hopefully maybe within the next few days, and potentially look at a few altcoins. So thanks for watching. Join VIP. I will see you on the inside.